We're back, people, and today we're going to film on Jerome Baker, Miami Dolphins linebacker, and I think he played his best game of the season, and honestly one of the better games in his career, arguably, versus the Jets here. He was outstanding in coverage. I think this Fangio system, playing more of like zone match, because I feel like as a pure zone coverage defender, he doesn't have the best instincts, isn't super strong there, and then in man-to-man, he can do some decent stuff versus running backs and tight ends. I feel like, meeting in that middle ground with zone match where he can play top down. He just has to, relate to one guy like this, get downhill, make plays out in space with his speed. It really just allows him to play at his best. And also, like, huge credit to him and David Long, because to me, the linebacker unit was the weakest going into the season. They started really slow, worked terrible versus the Chargers. And then since then, I think they've been slowly improving. And then they hit a point in the season where they became very solid. I just feel like Baker's been playing some solid, disciplined football, which is just kind of all you're asking out of that unit. Long being like the really good run defender, while Baker staying on the field and making a huge impact in the passing game, making some open field tackles just like this versus Breece Hall one-on-one. Very, very solid play. He recognizes it, closes very nicely. He's just relating. Dolphins are running some quads here at quarters, and pretty much he's just relating to the number 2 of this side on backside of 3x1, which ends up being the running back, and he plays top down. Good speed, good out in space. Really like what I've seen from Jerome Baker this year compared to, some previous seasons. While I do feel like there's some things that Baker can do better versus the run, he's still showing some good stuff there. But the passing game, it's really just in coverage. Dolphins are bringing this blitz right here, bringing Van Ginkel, which it's going to be interesting to see how the defense plays without Phillips now, because Van Ginkel's going to be less on off ball, so him and Baker's going to have to make some more impact plays in coverage, because it'll be David Long next to him in a lot of these situations again, where the Dolphins did find some struggles early on, and he does a good job just replacing, just good understanding of what the defensive call is. Van Ginkel's going here, read the QB's eyes, he's just relating to the receivers here. He's a hook defender, and he's going to the 3 receiver side with this running back over here. It's a 2x2, but this receiver gives him 3 numbers to here, and with that blitz, he's reading the eyes. Running back goes out on the flat, becomes his responsibility. He finds the new number 3, the hook defender. He reads the eyes, in position to make a play. Ball has to come out quickly. If this ball's, throw into the spot, like where his tight end has a chance to catch it, it probably gets intercepted. But he basically just has to throw it away where no one can get it. Really good work. Love the play call, and then good identification there from Baker. Just making things pretty easy. Like sometimes he'll play a little too nonchalantly, but he doesn't, usually take himself out of the position with like over aggressiveness, just being a pretty solid, sound, disciplined player. I do like, it's the neck roll. I think, he put that on. He was improving throughout the season, and then he put on the neck roll, which I don't remember the first game it was, but maybe it was the Eagles game, because the Eagles game was probably his other best game this year. But just in coverage, really, really liked what I saw from Jerome. Plays like this are very impressive, because when they go empty like this, and you have your linebacker, like you have the nickel to this side, so you're not in dime. You have 2 linebackers out there. So basically, linebackers to both sides. Van Ginkel has to relate to the number 3, but it's a little bit, easier for him just numbers-wise, space-wise. But Baker basically gets one-on-one matched up on the backside of the number 2 with Garrett Wilson, and he does a decent job, sticking with this. Wilson does end up dropping it, but he doesn't give up too much separation, stays square, stays patient, doesn't fall for any initial moves, breaks to the inside, slight separation created right there, but he gets back in position. He could have, recaught the ball. He fights, knocks that ball out. That's good work from Baker, like versus any wide receiver. That's what you want to see from your linebacker. Even if it's caught, he's right there to make a tackle, only like a 5-yard gain, but ends up, getting that ball out. Van Ginkel almost comes away with the interception. If the linebackers can play like this in coverage, this is a very difficult team to beat, because they have a very strong secondary. The front is creating a ton of pressure and stopping the run really, really well right now. And then Long is one of the better linebackers in the league versus the run. So having the linebackers that can play in some coverage here, I wouldn't mind seeing even some Channing Tindall at this point in the season when Van Ginkel has to play more towards the edge now with the Phillips injury. But do think, Baker does deserve more respect from this fan base, because he is playing. I know people look at the clip last week and talked about the effort. I think he was just trying to punch the ball out, to be honest. It wasn't poor effort, him just trying to jog. He was really going to set up the punch, and then the guy cut right when it happened, so it looked worse than it actually was. But still, this game alone was really, really good. Then the very next play, Baker makes another huge impact play. He's just matched up on the running back here. Look at him avoid this this lineman in space. Like, this is just really good football play. Because, like, look at this matched around everyone else. There's a lot of room to work with. There's going to be 3 linemen working here. If they block Baker, Bryce Hall has all this room to work with. But he just makes this impact play all him. This is all Baker. Some of the other plays were, impacted by the pass rush. But this play right here is truly just him taking this over. Good job staying square. He doesn't like overreact to anything. He just recognizes the play, makes that guy miss. Good hand usage, and then gets a tackle. That's really impressive stuff from Baker, being able to avoid some blocks in space. He's been better taking on blocks this year as well versus the run, just getting up in, filling. He's not like a super impactful run defender, but these plays in coverage where he doesn't have too many like crazy amount of responsibilities, he makes good solid plays. And he's like I'm pretty sure he's the one with the green dot, so he's the one getting all the information, calling the defense out there, so he really can't come off the field. It's good work here from Jerome. Got to give him a lot of credit, especially for how he played in this game. Going back to some early plays in this game, this is like one of the first drives where it's 3rd and 12. They throw the ball to Garrett Wilson. He does a good job just keeping everything in front of him, playing top down, zone match stuff. Dolphins are in cover 6. He's to the cover 2 side, so he's just like the hook relating to number 2 here. Howard's the flat defender. He maintains his inside leverage. That's what he wants. He doesn't want to give up this inside spot to Garrett Wilson. Wilson then takes the option route to the outside. He gets there, knows the 3rd and 12 situation. He knows he can allow him to catch this, just be there to make that tackle, which he is, just stopping a lot of these plays. And that's still matched up versus receiver versus Garrett Wilson, who is very good, and Baker impressing. Like, these plays are, even though you give up the catch, are just so good in coverage. When you're a linebacker and you're matched up like that versus receivers. This will be the only running play I show. He didn't have the most impact versus the running game. He didn't really need to. They were stopping the run without him. Good work by the rest of the front. And, this was still not the best. Like, it still gave up like 6-7 yards on the play. So you want to see him be, probably get this eliminated to like 3 or 4. But based on, the hole here, and he's on the backside of a toss play from the linebacker, this is still some good stuff. He's still able to, like, for him to have to slip underneath this block, but still have the lateral range to get out there. Would like to see him get him down without, being dragged for a few extra yards, but still pretty solid play from just like a range perspective, block avoidance perspective. Still some good stuff there. I think this was his best game versus in coverage. I think the Eagles game was probably his best game versus the run, just off the top of my head for this season. But just definitely some improvement. If the linebacker core can keep playing at at least a consistent level, they don't even have to play like amazing. Just play pretty solid, consistent, even average at times. This defense will be very good for the rest of the season. And the Jalen Phillips injury will hurt for sure. It's devastating still. Still hurts to think about, to be honest. And but yeah, the linebacker core is stepping up. They're going to need to even step up even more, because I think, they're going to lose Van Ginkel in those spots sometimes now. He'll still play some, but he's still going to have to, be more of an edge now. So need more from Baker and Long. Now, last play that we're going to break down, the Jerome Baker interception. It's not the most impressive interception. It comes off of a tipped ball, but this is, second time he's just been in the right play, right time, finish this off. And I feel like, even though it's not the most, he did kind of deserve for how he's playing. You see, he's trying to, like, true zone dropping here. He's not matching anything this time, just sitting there still not the most comfortable there, but he's holding his zone. He's reading the ice, sees the QB's throwing it to this side of the field. He starts to break on this ball, gets tipped up, he makes a play at the catch point. Got to show it, because it is an interception. It's not his best play of the game. It's probably, out of the plays, I've shown one of his weaker plays, because he didn't have the biggest impact on it. That's why sometimes stats can be misleading. They'll show the interception on the game, and it's not, obviously not a negative against him, but it's not like even close to his most positive play. But yeah, that's why you watch the film. Good stuff from Jerome Baker overall, though. Really liked what I saw. Really good plays in coverage, matching up versus the running back, even the tight ends as well. He's been much better at those areas, because I feel like he struggled a lot early on in his career in coverage, because he was known for being an athlete, but just because you're a good athlete doesn't mean you're always good in coverage. Like, I feel like he struggled a decent amount there. He's always actually been his best as a blitzer, but he's blitzed less this year. They've been bringing more David Long and Andrew Van Ginkel on those blitzes, because they're also very effective blitzers. They've allowed Baker to be the one to drop in coverage, because that's kind of who they trust there the most, and he's had some, positive effect on that type of play. Still can see some improvement overall, but I do think he's playing better than most people have thought this season. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.